Welcome to Fringe Investigations, a podcast exploring topics on the fringe of this reality, including cryptids, paranormal, parascience, UFOs, conspiracies, and other unconventional phenomena. This is a collaborative effort between the Asheville Cryptid Society, me, the Cryptid Guy, and M&D Paranormal, sponsored by the Asheville Masonic Temple in downtown Asheville, North Carolina. If you would like to share a paranormal story, or you have evidence, or if you're interested in being a guest on our show, please contact us at 828-782-3766 or 828-484-1637. Our email address is ashevillecryptidsociety@gmail.com or mndparanormal@gmail.com. Welcome to Fringe Investigations. I'm your host, the Cryptid Guy, and with me, as always, are Slim and Tiny. My friends, I know we've been gone for quite a while. We've been on what I call a little hiatus, but I assure you we are coming back with more incredible, obtuse isn't the word I'm looking for.
No, but you're at the right angle.
I am at the right angle. Sorry about that time. Sorry, Slim.
That was cute.
I assure you, we can just cut that whole part out.
Oh, no, that's stated.
Okay. I assure you, we have come back more determined to prove that the fringe is a reality that we all need to experience and, in some cases, identify as real life. So, before we start, we'd like to give a couple of shout-outs to some people that have been very, very informative and helpful to us throughout this year. We have had an incredible year. And it sometimes I sit back and look at the things we've managed to accomplish in such a short time, and the people that helped us were incredible. And I would personally like to give a shout out to a recent friend of the show's, Creep Geeks, specifically Omi and Greg. They have been incredibly kind and generous to us with not only their shout outs and their compliments to the Fringe Investigations team, but they also were more than kind in the description of the events they went to with Slim and Tiny and Tess at the shop in Marion. So that has been a very helpful and very friendly thing, and I would like to just pass the torch and say thank you so very much for your kind words, and we appreciate it. We'd also like to thank our buddy Dr. Mulder, and he knows why. We'll just leave it at that.
Oh, yeah.
We'd also like to thank Joshua P. Warren for all his help. And a big shout out to Dr. John Alexander in Las Vegas. Without him, I don't think we ever would have put this show together, because I believe while we were at that event, he's the one that suggested we three of us get together and do something a little more.
That's when it all started.
Yeah, you're right. It is. We'd also like to get a shout out to Coast to Coast AM, specifically Mr. George Norrie, or as I like to call him, Uncle George, and Tom Danheiser, a brother from another mother. Without those guys, we could not be as successful as we have been. And I would also like to make sure that everyone is aware that the shop in Marion, North Carolina, has been an incredible supporter. Tiny, what's that website address?
It's mndparanormal.com.
All right, mndparanormal.com. For those of you at home, just go ahead and look that up. I promise you will find some strange and unique items there that you will not see anywhere else. And if you are looking for something specific, the shop can get it for you with minimal fuss. Slim, how was your hiatus?
I have been super busy. It hardly seemed like a hiatus. We haven't been talking on Fringe, but I have been really busy up in the mountains of Western North Carolina, working at an event center, and that I think I mentioned before in an earlier episode. And we've had some really cool people come to visit all around the country. So we had an astrologer come down from Maine. We had what he calls himself a multi-realmed alchemist come out from Colorado. And actually, we had Tiny and Teeny come out to the event that Peter May put on. And what he does is he works with the Music of the Plants box. And what that does is it hooks up to plants, and the electromagnetic impulses actually output a audible sound. So you're literally listening to
plant rock.
generated music.
Plant rock.
Totally. So that was super cool. And I actually have a couple of those devices and was able to take them around. And the, what is it, the Asheville Arboretum?
Oh, yeah.
They had a bonsai show. And so I took that box and got some of these songs of these like 500-year-old bonsai trees.
Do you have them recorded?
Oh, yeah.
Is there any way we could attach some of those recordings at the end of the show?
Yeah, you know what? I'll put it at the end of this video.
That would be awesome.
Cool. Yeah, so
I'm looking forward to listening to it. I haven't heard them, so something to look forward to.
It's an amazing thing. It really is.
I love trees. Trees to me, like, I just think we should just plant, like, if you cut trees down, one tree down, you have to plant 100. That's just my
thing. And the
thing.
event with Peter was so cool to experience. Mm-hmm. It really was. It was, at first a little bit awkward, but then you just kind of sink into it and go with it.
Well, I know we can say this. When Slim puts on an event, it is something to behold. Anything else, Slim? Anything else you wanted to talk about real quick?
Yeah, I guess the other big thing I did was I took a trip to Colorado and I visited 2 specific spots to talk about for our fringers.
Awesome.
I went to the UFO Watchtower, which is in the middle of the San Luis Valley in Colorado.
You have family there?
This is the area. Oh, yeah. My ancestors come from there.
That would explain a few things.
And it's a really trippy, weird place. So I'll put some pictures up on the video here as I'm talking.
Tiny, my brother from another mother. You big Neanderthal-looking SOB. What have you been doing?
Been doing a lot of stuff.
I know.
A lot of stuff. Working on the website with Slim, for one. Getting some really cool stuff out there. Going over a ton of evidence. Getting that ready to be put out to the public. Helping Teeny and Mary at the shop.
Well, that's not easy.
It is not. Pray for me.
I do, every day.
Had a great gathering the other night with Slim presenting. My only regret is I didn't record it.
I was just about to ask if we could stick that up there on the channel.
I didn't have a chance. Work went long, and I didn't have all of my equipment to do it. So, unfortunately, and it would have been a great one.
Well, plus I spilled all the secret knowledge, so.
Yeah. Did you? Already?
Everything, reincarnation, everything you need to know.
The whole thing, everything you need to know to get there?
The whole shebang.
Jeez.
The meaning of life actually was on
She usually charges for that.
Everybody should come to the shop and experience the gathering.
And again, for those of you who are listening, we're going to have the address of the shop listed under the credits of today's show. So if there's any questions, you'll be able to make a call or get online. And again, that's the shop at, what is it? Does the shop have its own yet?
It's the Shop Eclectic. It's on Facebook. That's where you can find it.
Shop Eclectic on Facebook.
Word. It's one word, and it's spelled with 2 C's.
Cool.
I have a lot of stuff going.
All right.
And it's, of course, it's free to the public. Mary likes to feed people, so there's snacks.
Well, you know, that's funny because the people on the Creeping Geeks podcast mentioned that there was a lot of people, but there was more food. So Mary does like to feed people. Teeny, how you been?
Hey, I'm good.
Haven't seen you in a while, kiddo.
I know. It's because I'm officially edumacated now.
Educate feels good, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And this is Teeny's first time on Fringe.
It is.
So
Hi, everybody.
Woo-hoo. We love her.
Welcome to the Fringe.
Welcome to the Fringe. This is your first time here?
This is my first time.
Really? For some reason, I thought she'd been on before.
You want to kind of introduce how I'm a part of this?
Of course.
Wonderful adventure.
Teeny is Tiny's better half and boss in all things in his life. She allows him to do the paranormal adventuring and the cryptid research with my dear friend Slim and myself. And she's actually one of the family. The reason why I probably thought you were on the show before is because we're so used to having you around in real life, not just on pretend podcast. So tell me what's going on.
I don't know. I graduated recently. You have the regular holiday stuff going on. Been at the shop with my mom a lot. Past couple weeks helping her out through the holiday season.
You guys been busy?
We have been busy,
That's
thankfully. Awesome. So it's been good. It's been a good time. Going through some evidence alongside tiny, I don't know, over here.
We merge together sometimes.
I call you Tiki.
We are
Tiki.
one. yeah, so that's about it. So I'm excited to be here and kind of talk a little bit about some of the paranormal activities that Tiny and myself and
That's
Slim-
going to be a great
Yeah.
episode. I'm excited for that.
That will be the, if I may, also, we call her the debunker. She is the one that goes over all of our evidence and says, no, that's not evidence. We have to get it past her before we can post it on any website or Facebook or anything like that. And she has broken my heart more than once.
I was going to say I have happily broken his heart several times just based off of that. And I think making sure that any evidence that we do put out is as authentic as possible, you know, and kind of pass the test is what's most important, because that's what, you know, makes you legitimate, right? That's what gives
Very
you
true.
credibility. That's what gives you the professionalism, and honestly, probably one of the most important parts.
And in one of our other episodes, we'll talk a little bit more about how we do that.
And you guys do it right. I really respect
Thanks,
your methodology and all that.
Thank you.
Well, I'm proud of both of you because I've seen you in action, and I've been lucky enough to be there a few times when I like to say Teeny was telling the truth about some things. And I always like looking at the people's reactions when they hear that, because they're expecting this whole, you know, big spiel on something, and she just breaks it down. No, that's not. No, it's a pipe. It's light reflecting. Something that it's always, but it's done very kind. You know, she's very kind when she does that something. So don't think that Teeny's out there crushing dreams just because she's crushing
Oh no,
times.
I think I am sometimes.
Oh, you totally are. But I was just trying to be polite about it.
Very proud of that fact.
She is. She should be. She's very polite about that. Well, guys, is there anything else anyone else wants to mention before we wrap up this little recap of 2018?
I would like to say thank you to all of the listeners and followers we have.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been really fun to engage with people and watch our viewership go up. And then Cryptid Guy, you know, he leads the haunted tours in Asheville and has got to meet some of our listeners, which I think is really cool.
Oh yeah, that's super cool.
It is I tell you, I don't expect it, but like sometimes, like, you know, the last couple of times I've had someone just walk up to me and ask me if I've heard about a podcast called Fringe Investigations that happens in Asheville. And I just kind of smile because, you know, I'm just so proud of what we managed to accomplish and the fact that people actually listen. And my friends, I would just like to personally thank each and every person that listens to our podcast. And I would like to thank you for those of you who subscribe, for me and everyone at Fringe Investigations, all of our guests, all the people that help us get done what we try to get done and do it in the way we do it. Thank you so very much for giving us the opportunity and listening to us. We promise that this year will just be the beginning of many, 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 many more years to come of what we like to call Fringe Investigations. Slim, is there anything you'd like to say?
Keep believing.
Sounds good. Tiny?
Keep believing.
Teeny?
Keep believing.
Don't stop believing.
It's turned into a Glee episode. And remember, my friends, when you're out there in that big, scary world, keep believing, because you never know what's going to happen. I'm the Cryptid Guy for Slim and Tiny. Thank you for listening. Have a great night.
Thank you for listening to Fringe Investigations. Remember, if you or anyone you know has a story they would like to share, or you're interested in being a guest, contact us at 828-782-3766 or 828-484-1637. Our email addresses are AshevilleCryptidSociety@gmail.com, CryptidGuy001@gmail.com, or mndparanormal@gmail.com. Keep an eye out for our next episode. Have a nice day, and remember, keep believing.